All right, so before we talk about the event that actually matters when it comes to Super Bowl, that'll be the halftime show. Trailers. Because and for those who've been like listening to the show for years, you should know this by now. Yeah, I actually don't watch the game itself, right? I don't like who it was Seahawks versus whoever. I don't know. I
Right.
don't care.
Seahawks and Eagles.
And the Patriots.
Atlanta and
Okay, yeah. So two teams squared off, right? The only
Seahawks versus right. Yeah.
All right. So the only bit of footage I watch is when between after the second hour, right? That very soon will be the halftime show, right? So you tune in, you see a commercial break, and you tell yourself, "Oh, okay, it's gonna start now." And then you realize, "Oh, there's like a minute of play left, right?" So yes, wait until it ends, and then you have to give the breakdown of the first half of the game, and then the show starts, right? So that's the only bit of football that I actually watch, right? But that being said, though, I have not seen. I didn't see any trailers while I was. I didn't stick around. Sorry, to watch any trailers before the show. Nor did I go on YouTube to look up any. I figured I'll just watch after the fact, right? So the ones that I did see after the fact, there wasn't much, but y'all could tell me if there was any that I missed, right? I know there's a good amount that I probably missed, right? That Mandalorian and Grogu one, that was pretty cool. I like how they set it up with like it being like a car commercial, like a version of a car commercial, even in bringing Sam Elliott to do the voice. That was really cool.
Right.
Yeah. There was the Minions and Monsters trailer, but because I really don't care about Minions, I saw it. I was like, "Oh, that look kind of funny." But like, people still love this thing, right? Like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not invested personally, but I know people were like, "Oh my god, monsters!" and bringing up baby Cthulhu, and it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you're right. Listen, if they write it funny, I don't think Illumination is a great thing. If they write it, it's be okay. It's just a lazy pop culture bullshit, but whatever. Make it.
Well, speaking of Illumination now, we got a few TV spots for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. You see Yoshi.
Right, which look great.
It looked really, really cool though, but no lie, and I have to confess, because I am not versed in all things Super Mario Brothers, I just watching all this. I'm like, all right, I know all the pulling from the games, but it's how I could translate on screen for people like me who don't know Super Mario's lore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
No, I know this. They say Super Mario Galaxy, but I really feel a lot of it looks like from Odyssey. A lot of Odyssey stuff is in there, so like, all right, okay. However, it's a lot of Galaxy stuff in this new one anyway, so it's fine. In the first film.
Yeah, but no lie, this shit look wild, and I want it to work, but I just want it to be better than the first movie. That's all, right? Whatever. The Adventures of Cliff Booth. That is the one that roped me in. That roped me interest. I'll tell you why, right? So this is a spin-off of
right. Yeah, they have the same on Brad Pitt character, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. So this is
thing doing it. Is this fellow doing it?
David Fincher. David Fincher. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's through Netflix because David and Netflix, right? Them cool, right? Them is pals, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's the thing with that show, right? So I actually read the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood novel, right? Which Tarantino also wrote, right? And that was more supposed to be to fill in some, to add more context and history to the movie, right? Which I absolutely love, right? And it still remains, it's still currently Tarantino's 9th film, right? He still has yet about the 10th one, right? But I know, like, in that book, he gave us more info about Cliff Booth and his career and all that kind of stuff now. So while I was watching the trailer, I was like, okay, it could be that. So it's clear that David Fincher was pulling from the novel itself and not so much the movie itself, right? What I like, though, is the way how it's censored. Like, when you look at it closely, right? How it's censored with the bleeping and how it, like, scratches off certain bits of visuals. That was pretty cool as well, right? Very retro the way how it does, right? But yeah, for the life of me, I don't know, like, I'm not overly excited for it, right? But it's just like, wow, this is actually going to happen, though. Like, we're really going to get this, right? I hear scuttlebutt about they actually de-aged Brad Pitt for this performance because, like, it's before the events of the first movie. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
okay.
Well, it makes sense because of the time period anyway. So it's like, all right, fine.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And then the book did touch on his career up until 69, right? 1969, when
Right.
the movie was based in. So I don't know what to expect from it. They say we're supposed to be getting it in sometime in 2026. I am there
Right.
as somebody who loved the movie and who read the book, right? So I'm there, right? And last but not least, they were okay. So
The sci-fi movie, we call it, oh gosh.
with Ryan Gosling,
Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary, right.
Here's the
Project
thing.
Hail Mary.
Here's the thing.
Project Hail Mary.
I
That's the one I'm interested
never
in.
read the book. I never read the book, but I heard high praise of it. I haven't even tried. What is the start? But I never found time.
Yeah, I would say I'm hype about it
But
too.
I love the Martian. Love the Martian movie.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, and that's like
So,
Tracy's favorite movie, like ever, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Excellent.
We all know where the
So I will not say anything about that trailer simply because it is the final
fine.
trailer.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
fine.
want to go. I will watch the first trailer because I usually avoid final trailers anyway. I will watch the first trailer.
Mhm.
And then I'll be like, oh, that's what the movie is about. Okay, and I'll see it for myself. But if I watch the final trailer, I know it will give up spoilers. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, somebody on X said, don't watch the final trailer because it gives too much spoilers about the book. So I'm like, I'm good. But yeah, that's all that I have seen, right? I don't know if you guys saw anything else before we jump into the halftime show.
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there was the Puppy Bowl introduction to Crypto, like when she first met Crypto. That's Kara first meeting Crypto, but it doesn't really add. I like the Puppy Bowl ads for the Puppy Bowl ads, but at the same point in time, it doesn't really add anything to it. So I'm just gonna sit there and wait for an actual trailer to come out in like March or something like that. That's about it.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about the show that, Donald Trump had to go on X and say he absolutely hated everything about because he didn't understand a single word that was said. I saw that this morning. I was like, that's so Donald. That's so Trump.
What cracking me up about that is that he watched that show over Kid Rock show.
This is my point.
I didn't even know about that show until this morning.
That was real sad to watch it.
I need to watch that. I want to watch it just like a cringe at it.
It's real cringe. But what make it extra dumb, right? To me, it's like, wait, did Nicki Minaj just join up with Ole? Why you could get she to do it? Yeah, she right there. Hey, whatever, moving on.
That's true. Are they gonna bring in Kid Rock though? Like what?
Kid Rock's so irrelevant. Like, beyond irrelevant.
For him to sing what forever? Punk rock with a little bit of hip hop. Like nobody want to hear that.
Get a whole hype up with Nicki Minaj. She's like, yeah, she not right there. Like, what she doing? Like, I can't you. I'm going on.
Oh, and that would have been an insult to she fan base if she had performed, but that would have been perfect, really, when you think about it.
I thought that would have been, because when I saw she joined up and she always do this rah-rah with Trump and thing, I was like, all right, she got to do the Super Bowl as a the counter noise now. As the counter programming. That's what I thought it was going to be. I was like, it's Kid Rock? Like, what? Okay, moving on.
No, but I mean, they've been making this noise since the announcement that Bunny was going to be there. They started making their hype noise about like, okay, we're gonna have our own thing, and then they came out with, okay, we are officially having our thing. What was funny to me is yesterday, seeing on Twitter, they couldn't get some kind of broadcasting rights, so they just invited everybody to go to the YouTube channel.
Right.
I will.
Yeah, there's some drama with X. They couldn't afford it. Some licensing issue.
Like, come on, man, give me a break here.
We're broke. That's why real broke talk though. Trump doesn't seem like a multi-billionaire. You can't throw somebody on the direction. God, man.
Well, it just shows how, I mean, that leans into another topic there, but it just shows how much he's actually interested in his own fan base. But that's on our side.
All the Pepsi Island billionaires. You can't show somebody. All the way out.
Yeah.
No fans, I guess.
Yeah. So about the performance itself, right? So let's start off with a quote.
Puerto Rican.
With a quote by. Sorry.
No, I was just saying Puerto Rican. We were all Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, yes, we're all Puerto Ricans, right? If you know, you know. So yes, so I will start off with a quote from the great Lil Jon, and on the subject of Lil Jon, R.I.P. to his son who passed away last week. My condolences, right? So this is my quote from the great Lil Jon, right? This to me kind of sums up, Bad Bunny's performance, right? Put your hood up, put your hood up, put your hood up. Put your hood up, put your click up, put your click up, put your click up, put your click up. Represent your hood, mother lovers. Represent your hood, mother lovers. Represent your click, mother lovers. Represent your click, mother lovers. That entire performance is literally Lil Jon's Put Your Hood Up. It encapsulated it. Like when I was watching that performance, I was just hoping for Lil Jon to just yell, "Put your hood up!" Because yeah, boy, Bad Bunny put Puerto Rico on his back. He put Latin America on his back. One of my friends saw a snapshot and shared with me. He say apparently the Trinidad and Tobago flag was in the background because there's a shot where you see Bad Bunny walking into the camera. Right? Here's the thing though, I rewatched that performance, right? 'Cause it's on YouTube, right? And I was looking for it, but I was looking. Okay, so there's a top down shot.
I saw it on the side. Yeah, not on the top down shot. I saw it on a side shot.
Exactly right. The side shot is.
I saw that and I saw the guy in a flag as well. I was like, oh,
okay.
I was thinking it was just the Americas. No, it's just so that way. I didn't look for it, but then I saw it. I was like, oh shit, I not Trinidad flag too. That would.
Jamaica, one or two.
That's pretty much the entire Caribbean and the Americas.
Yeah.
I thought you just mentioned the Americas. I just thinking South America, Central, North. I maybe you mentioned all the countries going up. Editing. So that was good.
Yeah, I think another reason why so I got thrown off a little bit when I rewatch it, right? Because in that shot where he's walking towards the camera and he's saying like Guatemala, Honduras, blah blah blah, I had my ear out. I was like, okay, you're gonna say Trinidad, you're gonna say Guyana. He didn't. He just called all the Latin America countries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah,
it had great guest stars. Cardi B was there. You saw her.
Yeah, I saw her. She was standing next to Pedro Pascal. It's only when I saw it again, I was like, oh shit, you there too? I saw McGill, I saw Cardi, but I did not notice.
But I thought she would have performed, to be honest.
Me too.
But you get Gaga to come true. Like,
yes.
She had a great performance.
Yes.
And then Ricky Martin, like, oh shit. It's like, I hear you now.
We all assume he's a vampire. Like, Ricky's a vampire.
For real, but he look same way how he look in the 90s, though, you know what I mean? But when he show up, I'll watch him for like about a few seconds, and then he starts singing, it's like, oh shit, that's Ricky Martin, the what? You know what I mean? That was me, right? But going back to Cardi, right? What's so interesting, right, is that the week before she was on SNL and she performed Bodega Body. I thought, honestly, that she would have performed that because it's set in, and especially that energy that's brought into that song. I thought she would have stopped and performed that. I would have been like, that would have been so hard.
The whole set was super impressive, that whole Cane Field thing, but it was all people in costumes in Cane Field. And like, oh shit. Because if you notice the background, it was kind of moving around. It had people, and I thought it was people in the bush. Like, no. The people is the bush, like that would. And it's really, really, really well done stuff. The stuff with the high tower, the poles.
Oh right, the electrical poles. Electricity poles.
It's like, all right, this man cook, boy. They cook. This is really good. Yeah, Jay-Z make a good choice.
It was authentic.
Indeed, boy. But yeah, for me, what blew my mind when I saw it for the first time last night, I was recording this, and when I rewatch it, is the camera work, right? There's just one shot, right? But I don't know, like for the life of me, when I rewatched it, I didn't even think about it. So maybe they kept it, or maybe they just do it over, or just took a different shot in post now, you know what I mean, after the fact, right? Maybe they did, but I didn't notice it the second time because I was just so immersed in the performance, right? But there's one shot where the camera just kind of move a little jerkily, right? That was him on top of the platform for the first time. That's one minor gripe I had.
It edit and cut fast, and the little miscommunication.
Yeah. So I think if I'm not mistaken, they probably fixed that in post. I have a feeling they did. I would have noticed it again, right?
Well, I noticed it in any live performances, like
right. But other than that, though, the seamless movement was fantastic, Dread. The blocking, knowing where to frame the camera, all that work, right? Because it's Bad Bunny moving from spot to spot to spot. I love how he moved from the cane field to these guys playing dominoes to, this guy selling this.
It's really clever thing when they do like with I think Weeknd did this as well, where it slip into like a little movie.
Yes, Weeknd did something similar. I was thinking about his performance, right? About the wedding that takes place, right? This is before Lady Gaga performs, right? While I was watching this, right, I was asking myself, because there's a moment where he's given a ring. This is in the second song, right? I think it's the first song. Yeah. Where he leaves the field, right? He's given a ring and then he gives it to his couple, and then the guy proposed, right? I was watching the wedding scene. I was like, wait, is that the same couple?
I think it's a real wedding, though.
It is a real
Well,
wedding.
that's what Tracy
Yeah,
told
yeah.
me, before we met up. But I was asking myself if that's the same couple that we
Okay,
saw
I don't know.
before. I do know. I could be wrong, but if it's the same
Yes.
couple, well, that real hard.
I know. I wasn't following it. I'd probably look it back and see. Or check. I don't know.
I actually kind of found them on. Well, I mean, this is what happens when you keep scrolling forever and ever. You eventually your timeline
Doom
finds things like
scrolling.
they posted up. They posted up some stuff on Instagram, like how it started, the actual proposal shot, the original proposal, with the two of them like by some beach or some place, one of those things, and how it's going. And it's actually the real couple. And then Variety themselves came out and was talking about it. Variety magazine was talking about that it is a real couple, and that whole thing was like the story supposedly is, if I'm remembering it correctly, the story supposedly was they had invited Bad Bunny to be at their wedding, and he invited them to have the wedding at the Super Bowl. And when I look at it from that angle, you realize that the whole performance from me in any event was like, this is a wedding, and what's the R word is have for weddings afterwards? The reception.
Reception.
So it's like there was this was the wedding and the reception. It was like the biggest thing. So yeah, it was real.
Yeah. So just moving quickly, right? So there's a few things here, right? That camera work though is so seamless. I just watched this over again, and just how it follows Bad. Even when he goes on top of the platform for the first time, he falls through the roof, and then he ends up in the next room and it breaks out. All these things, just the camera work though is what blew my mind with it, right? But the thing that I love about this performance so much though is how it feels authentic to Puerto Rican and Latin culture as a whole. It's showing you all the facets of Latin culture, right? You know what I mean? The bodegas, right? Just when people have block parties, right? The dancing that take place, the choreography in this though, like my God, don't mind, it's just urban, it's mostly urban dances, right? But yeah, the choreography was great though. Having that wedding, everybody decked out in white, having the kid who's sleeping because he's just so tired from everything, right? That's so perfect, right? Zeroing in on the family who's watching the old timey TV, and that person who like from who I assume is from Puerto Rico winning a Grammy, and I'm assuming he's like the first ever Puerto Rican to win a Grammy, right? That individual, right? It's just all these key moments too that just make this thing work, right? And I just love the theatricality of it all, like with the guys who are on the electricity poles and all that kind of stuff. It's just so much though. It just feels so incredibly epic, right? To the point that for a man like me, who I will confess this, right? I have only listened to one Bad Bunny record in my life. That was the one that he bring out, I think is in 2020. And the only reason why I listened to that is because he had a song in it called Booker T, which was dedicated to the wrestler himself, Booker T, and he even had him on the song saying, "Can you dig it, sucker?" That's so hard though. But I listened to the album because of Booker T.
that song that was beyond on most social media like TikTok and Instagram or whatever. That with the
on the new song
with the violence. That one. I completely forget. I completely forget that it's a Bad Bunny song, but that song like super huge.
Yeah. And even and it's just so amazing that this performance takes place a week after he was in the Grammys, and they make the joke. I love the joke. Speaking of the Grammys, right? With that that Trevor Noah was playing with Bad Bunny. It's like, look, like sing a song, and Bad Bunny's like, no, I can't do it because I perform, and if I perform this on NBC, I could get in trouble there. So like, no, sorry, on ABC, sorry, on CBS, sorry, I'll get in trouble, Dre, because Super Bowl is at NBC, so I can't do it, right? That bit was real funny. If you all should check it out if you get a chance, right? But like when he won the Grammy for that album, whose name escapes me right now, right? And just that message that he said there about confronting all this hate, right, with love. Me going into this, I was expecting some fuck ice statement to happen, but no, it was all about combating that hate with love, Dre. You see it on the billboard. You see it on the football that he was carrying around throughout. I love that he gave the kid who was sleeping in the wedding scene, right? And then he gets it back and he shows it in front of us, right? Just combating hate with love. I absolutely love that, right? And then lastly, with the flags and just repping Latin America, repping the Caribbean, I was blown away when I found out that the Trinidad and Tobago flag was there as well. Yeah. And it's just the ending, boy, when he just does that song. When I watch it again, I get chills. This is when he was leaving the field. when the performance is wrapping up, that last song, boy, I get chills though, because I just feel that energy, dread. I feel that passion. Like, listen, I rep in my hood, dread. I rep in my squad. I rep in my people, dread. We are all Americans, dread. One love. I felt that in my heart, you know. I felt that in my heart. And last thing I'll say, right? So I love the fact that there's a performance where I only know one or two songs. I only know the lead sing. I know the title song from the new album that they won the Grammy for, because it won the Grammy, but I never listened to the album as yet. And I know it's a EOTY contender. I know it great. I'll listen to it, right? But yeah, talk about being able to shut shit down when you just delivering songs that I know 95% of the audience don't even know what he's saying, but you just know you know that, but you don't care because you feel the energy, you feel the love, you feel the passion, boy. But yeah, hands down, one of the best halftime Super Bowl shows, I've ever seen, in my opinion, Jed. I know, like last thing I'll say, I was watching this, I was like, well, you know, if a man like he could do this, right? One of our soca legends could do this, you know. I was legit picturing a Marshall or a Bungie doing something like this, you know, one day, you know, in Super Bowl, you know, performing at this level, you know. I know, it's a huge stretch, but I'm just talking about the authenticity. I talk about
the closest in my head that could pull it off, maybe, again, this still a stretch, is probably Kes. Maybe.
Kes has the versatility, but I also very much am like in the camp of Bungie, because Bungie will wild that whole scene out. But Kes,
right, maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, like I say, rep your squad like it's only one squad, but I mean, the man represent Puerto Rico to the fullest, he rep Latin America to the fullest, but I cannot be mad at that. And for a man like Trump to say, I didn't like this because I didn't understand a single word that he's saying. What's he trying to say about Latin people, that is so funny to me.
It is funny that he just talk about it, nobody talk about Kid Rock, because Kid Rock was sad to watch it. Like,
again, I want to watch that just to cringe off of that, boy. I want to cringe off of that so bad.
That was serious cringe.
Yeah, but
that's on multiple levels. I was cringe. The audience looked small. They had a set of bots. Everything like that's real failure.
Oh Lord! I can't wait to watch that.
I really thought it was gonna be Nikki. It's like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
Some big Trump on all like,
fire.
Yeah.
Or something, right? But she would have been like, okay, she have a crowd. Like, even though she have, you know, even though she fans backlash, or she still have a crowd.
Exactly, and she have bops, you know, still.
But then they do Kid Rock, and like, what? He didn't get back to what beer the other day or some bullshit. Like, what the fuck? Like, moving on. Next.
Anyway, Ricardo, your thoughts on the event? I'm free to ask. You watch this live, right? Please tell me you watch this live.
No, did not watch it live.
Boy.
I wake up in the morning and it's like over 5 o'clock and I see it on the live stream. I'm like, all right, let's take it. Kind of watch nothing live. I was doing something. I forget what I was doing last night. I was writing and I went on sleep or whatever. I was like, let me think. And then eventually, like, I see the score. Like, okay, who win? I see what ads come out. I saw the Super Bowl. That was about it. And then I just watch out everything in an hour. Like, you know, sometime this morning, like around 5 o'clock or whatever. So I watch it this morning.
But yeah, your thoughts on the show, man. What do you think?
No, yeah. As I say, Jay-Z make a good call here. This was like really, really well done performance. You know, just well made, well thought out, just really excellent stuff. Kendrick was strong last year. This was pretty strong too. And yeah, that's really hope the level of quality come back and they keep it up. This is where this is what this feel like a actual like a progress in the future. This is what this feels like in terms of you're really meeting the moment and you get an actually like solid star. Yeah, Bad Bunny is that guy. He really like is a big deal and he really do the thing. So yeah, great performance.
Yeah, one more question before we get to Tracy, right? Tracy, you're closing things off, right? Are you now inspired to check out Bad Bunny's discography? Because I mean, I listened to the album. I don't know about you, Ricardo, but I listened to the album. So what about you, Ricardo? You have no excuse. You need to jump. You need to jump on the Bad Bunny.
Not really. I know Bad Bunny. He's a big star, but he's a pop star. He's not like it's not something I'll think I'll just get into the big pop song. Not like I will follow his thing like any other pop star. I don't really like fight or go care one way or the other. It's just whoever is a big track, he'll come through. And yeah, the same reason I like him, same way I like Doja Cat or whatever. Like,
Dosha.
Yeah, imagine a halftime show with Shido, like, and she does cow, like she does bitch about cow.
Yeah, no,
No,
exactly.
that'll be hard though. That'll be hard if she perform. That's so and it's Super Bowl though. But anyway, but yeah, Tracy, I know you watched this live, right? I know you did, but yeah, thoughts on the event.
I watched, yeah. So I will tell you this. By the way, I want to thank you guys for putting that image in my head because now I can imagine an actual cow suit dangling down with like the largest udders coming down singing boo moo, and then she goes into actual like she can go from cow into woman. The track that she had in her last album.
She hits because like my personal favorite of hers is Juicy, the album version.
I still listen to that. Yeah, I still.
Juicy is exactly, not the album version, not that bullshit with Tiger.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, the album because the verse that they cut out is the best verse in the song, which is kind of pissing me off a little bit. Like, it's serious, like cater to mediocre Tiger, less than mediocre Tiger for that bullshit. Serious.
Of all things.
Anyway,
So I'll tell you this. One, I want to start with this. Gaga's performance remind me of that Latin band that used to play. So I lived opposite a bar, which on a Friday night was not the greatest thing because they would come and play until like 3 a.m. A bar in Arima. I could tell you the name of the bar, but I'll tell you offline. And there was a band that would come every Friday and play. It was a Latin band. When it comes to Christmas, they would switch up to parang and that kind of stuff like that. But they would take classics and general songs in general, and give it that salsa flair. So when Gaga came up and started to do her song as in Latinese, for want of a better way of putting it, that just took me back. It felt like going back to where I was when I was in school and living across the road from that bar, how that was there. I feel the idea for me of him calling out the different nations is not just the representation of the Latin America in terms of South America and Central America. It is also these are the people that help build the America that you are able to enjoy today. Because you have people who, we all know this. Everybody, even in the Caribbean, they leave their home. They have a dream. They go and they take the worst jobs because the people who are born there don't want to take those jobs, but they have an idea and they know that their children is going to be a whole lot better than them. That dream, and even like the idea of Bunny, Benito not starting off, but he used to work as a packing groceries, and then all these years later he is actually on the Super Bowl. It's brilliant. So that for me was real.
Gaga, I got a Evita vibe from her. Like this.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You know that you hit a nail on the head there because at one point I was like, well, Madonna did it. Patti LuPone wasn't exactly thrilled with Madonna's performance, but if there's anybody that they want to do that again, hey, there's her resume. Although I'm very much a fan of Rachel Zegler's Broadway showing of her as Evita, but yeah, that performance that was brilliant. The idea of the human figures as the cane field, there's the representation of how that plays out. The idea of, like I said earlier, the idea of the wedding, this being a wedding reception. It is a Super Bowl halftime show, but I looked at it through the lens afterwards of this is a wedding reception. Here's all the family and friends dancing where Pedro and Jessica Alba, or AKA Honey Daniels, was, and that kind of stuff. You have that. You have the bodega up there because the bodega is always very much part and parcel of the culture. You have the kid who is sleeping because even in the Caribbean, you have some child who's going to be sleeping while the adult's making a set of noise. That is real. And for me, the idea of giving the child the Grammy, I saw it as almost one of two things. It's either his self giving his future self, giving his past self and saying, hey, we made it. Or it could be the passing on to the next generation of like, if I have made it, you can make it too kind of vibe, which is absolutely brilliant. I will end by saying this, because for every good, there's always some randomness. And I will say this. it is amazing to me. Like, I could understand maybe an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old right-wing, especially in the Caribbean, right-wing person, because whether it is you grew up in a religious sense or you grew up in a strictly conservative sense or whatever it is like that, you have a particular viewpoint, and maybe when life expands, you might be able to change. You may not be full liberal, but you will be able to change. But I can understand you gravitating towards certain things, even if I don't like it. For the rest of us, the millennials, the zennials, even the boomers, the people who grew up listening to Aquaje Beber from, oh God, the name is running out of my brain right now, but basically listening to Aquaje Beber, listening to Ricky Martin in the 90s, early 90s, listening to Ricky Martin in the 90s, listening to, all variations of like Gasolina and all this kind of stuff, whether you knew what it is was being said or you didn't. João Gilberto and Astrid Gilberto. So you have all these people you grew up listening to, and they give performances in actual Spanish. I don't know half the words in one of Ricky's songs, but to this day I still walk around being like, un, dos, tres, un pasito la mane Maria. I mean, and I'm still walking around singing it. I prefer the Cup of Life in Spanish, to be real, but here we are. We grew up on that. And to have this crowd now, because we're now the older crowd, being like, yes, I agree with Orange, and America should be, because it's weird hearing it in America, it's weird hearing it in the rest of the world. I feel like we need to be ashamed of ourselves because we grew up on different languages that was playing music, and we all sat through it, and we all loved it, and we all danced in the street or danced in the club, that kind of vibe. But in terms of the performance and in terms of what Bad Bunny did, I give it full marks. I feel like this could be... I wait to see what happens next year, and maybe this might sound ridiculous, but I very much would love to see next year a K-pop inspired type of something. Like every year, whenever there's a person of color who does a Super Bowl, I always feel like, oh God, next year the whites are going to be very annoyed and they're just going to like revert to, I don't know, country music. But, which is not a very nice thing to say, I admit that. But at the same point in time, I wait to see what comes next and how you're going to top that. How are you going to top that Bad Bunny? You had Kendrick, you had Bunny. What are you going to do next? This was so good, and it has a smile on my face to this moment. And the idea of seeing some of the Caribbean flags represented, and even like Caribbean magazines and stuff like that are talking this morning, like, look, this one was here, and we were there, and this one was there, and it's all part of the process and all part of the love, which is what is needed right now. Absolute gold. Well done, Bad Bunny.